Hi, I'm Sid Pedinti, the founder of California Law Services. I welcome you to my practice. At California Law Services, we focus on providing business and legal strategies for the modern business. When I talk about a modern business, I mean a business that's competing in the in the present landscape that we're in right now. The business and the legal market is changing dramatically. The way we operate businesses are changing dramatically. The way rules shape our businesses have changed and are changing on a day-to-day basis. Given the different technological shifts, the digital shifts, and the way business is being operated in the modern legal sense and a modern business marketplace sense, things are changing very quickly. The landscape is evolving, and it's important for you as the business owner, whether you have a small business, a medium sized business, a professional firm, or you're even thinking of starting a new business, turning some of your skills and talents into a consistent revenue generating recession proof business. It's important for you to understand the business and legal consequences, actions, rules, laws, and how those shape your day-to-day life. So I've made a quick video talking about some of the ways that we help business owners understand these strategies, make better decisions, and have more control in their businesses. Let me go ahead and describe some of the things we're working on. First of all, I'm Sid Pedinti. I'm the founder of California Law Services and the managing partner. I'm a California-based attorney living in Los Angeles. Um, and the reason I designed this program is after working as a bankruptcy attorney and a bankruptcy strategist here in Los Angeles and in Toronto over the past 10 years, I've realized the number one reason why many business owners ended up in my bankruptcy firm was because they didn't have access to legal and business help and strategies the way medium-sized firms have, right? And many of them have their own in-house legal teams that help them make these decisions on a day-to-day basis. Unfortunately, for the small business owner, most of the time they either go ahead and get legal services or legal advice on a very specific matter, which is great at the time, but doesn't take into account the evolving nature of business, the way things shape, the way things change on a day-to-day basis. And so a lot of times what happens is that you make a decision later on, 6 months later, a year later, 2, 3, 5 years later, you realize it might not have been the best decision, right? Thinking from a long-term perspective, thinking about saving your assets, thinking about all the risks that come in your business. So many business owners, in other words, are not able to foresee to the future and make the required moves in their business, in their legal structure to protect themselves. And so we've designed a program that can help business owners finally get access to these strategies as though they have their own in-house legal team. And so we designed a program that's based on us working as your outsourced in-house team, helping you make the right decisions in your business. There are three key areas that we focus on when we work with our clients on a very one-on-one and a personal basis. The first key area that we like to focus on is asset protection. When I talk about assets, there's your business assets, there's personal assets, there's contracts, and IP protection. Let me jump over here for a second. So from the first aspect, we're looking at the business formation, right? Structure, capital, rules and regulations on how to set up a business that shape the way your business operates, right? So we're thinking of business assets that relate to intellectual property, right? We're thinking about business assets that relate to something valuable that you can sell later on, that somebody would pay money for, right? That is something special to your business, your competitive advantage. These are all your business assets that need protection so that people don't duplicate them, that they're not given away in the marketplace, that your clients or your vendors or people you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis are not taking advantage of you, right? So you want protection of these different assets. The next is your personal assets. Look, if you have a business, you still have personal assets, and it's important to know how you can protect those, what rules and regulations you can set up in place so that these personal assets will not be touched in the event there's a lawsuit or there's a conflict or there's a slip and fall in your premises and you get sued, right? Or there's joint liability based on the contractual nature of your business. If you're in a partnership, right, and your partner does something that may affect you, and now creditors or the opposing party who's trying to sue you may come after your personal assets. So when we think about your personal assets from a business perspective, it's protecting those. Here you can talk about your house, you can talk about the income you make, you can talk about separate property, you can talk about capital that you've invested in the business, right? And how you can take capital back based on those amounts, how you negotiated ahead of time. So it's and of course stocks, bonds, vehicles, all those other assets, personal effects, cash in the bank. These are all personal assets that you have that you want to protect in the course of your business. Next, we have contracts, right? So protection of your intellectual property, of your value, of what you provide as your business when you enter into contracts. If you're in the business, there's all kinds of contracts that you enter into with employees, with employers sometimes, right? Like as contractors, there's vendors, there may be marketers that you hire, right? There may be other gurus that are in place working with you. And you want to make sure the contracts that you have with these different parties are ironclad, that help you protect interests. There are clauses that help you get out of it if there's in the event of a breach. And also thinking about how to shape those contracts so that if there's a breach in the future, what happens next, right? Who gets what? What belongs to you? What belongs to these other parties? So these are all aspects that you have to think. These are strategies that you have to consider while you're in business, when you're making contracts, when you deal with other people. And it's inevitable if you are in business that you're going to have to deal with other people, regardless of whether you're client, direct client facing, or someone down the pipeline, maybe a middleman, or maybe the manufacturer, right? Regardless of where you are, it's important to have the right legal contracts drafted, thought about, and incorporated as they come up. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense so far in terms of asset protection. What are some of the strategies involved? Next, we talk about risk mitigation. Again, every action you take in the course of your business and your day-to-day business decisions has a potential legal or business impact, right? So when we think about risk mitigation, it's about reducing as many risks as possible so your journey in your entrepreneurship journey and your business journey is as foreseeable, there's not many surprises, and it's as predictable as possible. Okay, if that makes sense. So when we think about, again, risk mitigation, there's three core areas. There's conflict resolution, online compliance, marketing compliance. Okay, let me go here again for a second and speak about these in a bit more detail. So when we think about conflicts, right, in the course of your business, there's different areas that have conflicts. It can be in terms of a contract, it can be in terms of a scope, it can be in terms of a product or service that you delivered. It can be a conflict with an employee or contractor. or like I said, marketers or other people that you deal with, that you work with on a day-to-day basis, right? Also, number one is the client contracts. Most of the time, conflicts arise in the course of business with clients, with potential customers, right? With competitors. And so you want to have the strategies that help you mitigate as many risks as possible ahead of time. I know and I understand things come up sometimes that are unpredictable, but the the, the forethought that you put into this process, the planning, the brainstorming, right, and thinking ahead will go a long way to help you resolve this conflict in the least possible way that affects your continuity of your business, that impacts your financial stability, and it also doesn't waste your time, right? Nobody wants to enter into a business only to enter into litigation that goes on for years and years, which happens all the time. Okay, so that's number one, conflicts, how to mitigate conflicts and how to negotiate better. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is online compliance. It's something that many firms don't spend a lot of time on or money on, right? In the marketing world and in the way the digital world and era that we live in right now, having a website, having online presence is extremely important if you want to stay competitive in business, right? If you want to compete in the landscape that you're in, if you want to compete with your competitors in your market, it's important to tap into online strategies, having a website, having different technologies, having social media presence, having different aspects of publicity associated with your business. And here we're talking about compliance in the way of ethical compliance, in the way of regulatory compliance, right? So, regulatory, ethical, compliance in terms of any specific rules. If you're governed by a body, as an attorney, I'm governed by a body. And in terms of compliance, if you look at the bottom here, it says attorney advertising, no legal advice contained. It's something the bar requires me to have on anything I give out. However, I see a lot of attorneys still not putting simple disclaimers like that, right? Or realtors or accountants. And it happens all the time. It might not happen intentionally, but a lot of times people forget. There's so many other things, components, moving parts in your business. It's easy to forget or overlook simple stuff like this that could get you in trouble later on. It could have a major impact in the continuity of your business. It could even potentially have criminal or civil fines and sanctions associated with it, right? Extra tariffs that you might have to pay. It might even result in being barred from your bar association or being disciplined by a body that regulates you. So it's very important to have these different strategies in place so that you're acting in accordance with the law, and at the same time it doesn't affect your brand, it doesn't affect how people view you, it doesn't affect the way you can publicize yourself. Okay, so in terms of compliance, we're looking at overall online compliance from the website perspective, terms of service, warranties, conditions. Most business owners, in fact, think about this in your own business. Did you take the time to carve out a terms of service and a privacy policy and a disclaimer that's specific to your business online, right? Or did you go with a standard disclaimer that came with a website company that you're hosting with, or the website builder that you decided to go with, right? Or if you're using landing pages or other technologies, then the standard terms of service, privacy policies, conditions, and disclaimers that they have, right? Or did you take the time to carve it out, think about the things that affect you, and have those things in place ahead of time online, right? Giving the different warranties, disclaimers, scope of representation, what people can expect and can't expect. These are things that, with a little bit of thought, you can put on your website, which go a long way in terms of avoiding liability and compliance issues later on. Next, we have marketing compliance. Again, if you're in the business and you market or advertise, it's important to be compliant, right? And in terms of this, again, many firms just don't take the time to draft out something that's ironclad in terms of their marketing, right? I see ads on Facebook and Google and newspapers all the time by professionals who forget or forgot to include the disclaimers or notices that they were supposed to. And although nothing may have happened, hey, it's good. There's no the smell test, right? Nothing smell fishy. Nobody investigated you. You didn't receive anything from the bar association or competitors complaining on you or anything of those things. But you want to be proactive, not reactive, right? You don't want a situation where somebody does send you a notice and ask you to stop, a detainer, to stop doing business, right? In order to discontinue your services because of an ongoing investigation or something else of that sort. So it's important to make sure that you have compliance when it comes to social, which is obviously a big play now, when it comes to digital, when it comes to traditional marketing, and also what you say to clients, right? What you say to prospective people who take your advice or don't take your advice, right? So how you conduct yourself. This just comes with general ethical conduct. And so these are the things we'll explore in your industry and help you on an ongoing basis. The last strategy that we focus on in this special program is wealth generation strategies. So if you think about it, we have from the first aspect of it, we have ways to protect your assets. We've talked about strategies that reduce or mitigate the risks. Now we're going to think about strategies that advance your business forward, that help you generate wealth, right? And so if you think about your business, these are the three main areas that comprise in your business. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was blocking this. So we have protection, risk mitigation, and wealth generation. Okay, so that way you can move forward with confidence, knowing that your assets are protected and you're doing the right steps so that you don't go into conflict, lawsuits, or any other discrepancies later on. So the focus here in terms of wealth generation is if you have an idea or a project or a thought or skill and you're looking to open a business, right? It's about the formation, it's about the structure, it's about the way you set up your framework, right? And so these are the things we'll explore from a business perspective, from the way of wealth generation. Where can you allocate resources that will bring back revenue as predicted, right? As what you want, as what you desire. And so number one is turning ideas into business. So that means it's a bit more about, let me go here again. We're talking about structure and formation. Next, working with other experts. In the course of business, it's inevitable that you have to deal with other parties. Could be marketers, could be other attorneys, could be an accountant, could be a vendor, could be a supplier, could be a client who decides to join up with you, could be an investor, could be a joint partner, right? Could be a strategic alliance. There are a plethora of areas that affect people that affect your business, and we'll think about how those affect how to make strategies so you have complete control. And so here we're thinking about number 1, 2, and 3, right? We're thinking about structure and formation, as I mentioned. And so here it's about if there's any intellectual property, if there is any copyrights, right? It's valuing your business. What is it valued at, right? It's making scope of agreements. It's figuring out your foundation. Now, a lot of these strategies have to do with the business side of things, but it makes a major impact in your legal decisions as well, because the way business and law are fused together in your business. No matter what you think, They are two things that go hand in hand. And so that's the first strategy, right? It's getting structure, getting organization. Again, working with experts. Here we'll examine contracts, right? We'll examine the scope. Now, our job is to not help you ultimately decide who you want to work with, but if you've made a decision, then helping you walk through some of the contracts, walk through the different obligations, walking through what you can expect from them and what they can expect from you, right? Figuring out if there's a dispute, what is the next course of action in case there's a dispute with these experts, right? Really pinpointing the outcomes in the case of a dispute. Are they fair? Is there equal bargaining power, right? Is it one against the other? And so these are the things we want to go over on a weekly or bi-weekly basis or a bi-monthly basis with you as part of these programs, so that we can help you make these decisions on an ongoing basis. Okay, so that's working with experts and other parties, helping you make sure that you're doing the right step. And lastly, we have business expansion, right? And this is one of the key areas that we spend a lot of our time on. And here we're talking about strategic alliances, we're thinking about joint venture deals, we're thinking about licenses, royalty type agreements, investors, right? Onboarding new partners or other board members, allocation of equity and how to split equity, right? Commitments with those things. So these are all the different areas that are affected in your business when you're expanding. It's a complex area of business, involves international law, involves domestic law, involves contracts, involves IP, involves negotiation. So it's very complex, but we want to make sure that you have complete control so you can make decisions with confidence. So that's the gist of the program, as I mentioned to you. And these are the three things that we really focus on in this special program, right? The way you protect assets, the way you mitigate your risks, and lastly, how to generate wealth with confidence. So these are the core areas in your business that we're going to help you with. What are the benefits of having this special type of arrangement where you have your own outsourced in-house counsel, right, so to speak, advising you on a weekly or monthly basis on how to make different decisions in your business? Well, there's many key benefits of this, and we thought about those things as we put this program together. Number one, you get peace of mind in your business, knowing you have a team led by me and some of my associates who are looking over your business. Our interest is yours. We want to make sure you're making the right business decisions on a day-to-day, on an ongoing basis. You have access to real-time help as they come up in your business, right? So you can make decisions in a preventative way rather than reacting to something that happens later on. And so we always believe that prevention is better than you cure. Everybody says that, but very few people and very few business owners actually end up taking this advice literally and working towards it. So we created a program that helps you do just this. It helps you make these predictive decisions in a prophylactic way, where it's ahead of time, where it's brainstormed. We go over this with you. We identify all the possible outcomes and make sure we take the decisions that give us the best informed decisions in your business. We want to make sure you're confident. We want to make sure you're informed, you're educated before you make a decision, so that it's not guesswork. So what's the next step at this point? If these strategies made sense to you, right, I invite you to go ahead and go to californialawservices.com/start, which has an application form that I put together and talks about the different program details of this special in-house outsourced program that we created. So let me go ahead and briefly describe how the program works and some of the details that people sent me ahead of time in terms of FAQs. I hope to answer those and clear some of your doubts. Number one, it's ongoing. It's on a month-to-month basis. We figured that's the best way to go. You have two 60-minute strategy sessions with me on every month, right? So every month, twice, so it's every other week, 60 minutes you and your partner or your whoever else in your business, the key decision makers in your business, and me will go ahead and explore all these areas as they pertain to your business. And as fires come up, we'll be able to deal with it right away and take any decisions that we have to. It's $500 a month, right? We wanted to make sure we have a program that's absolutely accessible to almost every business owner. As opposed to, now I know many business owners go to attorneys, and for each document they need to file, for each piece of advice, you're looking at a few $1,000s. So rather than have a program that has you scrambling at the last minute to go find an attorney to figure out what you need, what we've done is help you make those decisions with you. That's one of the things we'll help you with. So let me go ahead and describe the scope and representation of what's in this program and what's not in this program. Number one, it's an absolutely advisory and consulting based program. We're going to act as your personal advisors in your business, right? Your legal advisors and your business advisors. Our job is to consult with you, to walk you through the business as though we were in your shoes. We have a vested interest in your business to make sure that we are making the right decisions as you onboard and become our clients. Now, it's not a vested interest in terms of trying to get equity or some of the other things in terms of revenue or anything else. But when I'm talking about a vested interest, it's an interest to make sure that you are making the right decisions and placing ourselves in your shoes to make those decisions as though we would have in our firms, right? So that takes care of our fiduciary duties as an attorney and advisors to you. So hopefully that makes sense. Next, we can be as broad as you like it to be. I showed you all the different areas that we cover, and it's quite extensive. Or on your 60-minute meetings, you can be as focused as you want to be. If there is something specific that requires our attention for that week, we'll go ahead and deal with that, right? We'll explore those topics. So number one, I'm going to give you a few bonuses that we decided, hey, these are things that people need in the course of running their business. So drafting and filing papers or documents as they come necessary. Again, for $500 a month, it's unimaginable that we're not going to be able to accommodate drafting complex documents or filing any required documents, paying the court fees, anything like that from our pocket. So although we do offer that, and we partnered up with quite a few different firms, so if we're not able to offer something, we're going to be able to point you in the right direction to someone who can. But the bonus is we're able to offer about 30% off on all our regular services, drafting and filing services, transactional services that we offer as part of California Law Services to people in this program, right? And so that's what this first bonus is. The second bonus is I give you 2 free tickets to some of the workshops that I host with other parties or independently. They can be on a variety of topics. Some are business, some are legal, some are marketing, some are compliance. But we host these around Los Angeles and slowly expanding to other places across the U.S. Or specifically California. But we give you 2 free tickets. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. But I give you 2 complimentary tickets to attend one of the workshops. It's on me. Next is you're going to be able to tap into my already extremely wide database of professionals and attorneys that we've compiled over the years. So if there's something more specific that you need, like patent filing or drafting a complex 30-page or 50-page business document, sure, those are some things that we may not do. And I'll be more than happy to point you to somebody who can actually help you with that, right? Next is also the other, like I said, it's not just attorneys, but realtors, CPAs, marketers, insurance specialists. I mean, we deal with so many different people. We have such a wide network that we've established. We're more than happy to share any of those things with you as they're needed in your business. Next is you have access to all the high value content that we're going to be providing and releasing it through our blog, through special posts, through emails, through Facebook, through social media. You have complete access to all that. at no additional charge. Some of those documents are valued at 200, 300, $400 sometimes, and again, I'll give you those for free. The best part about all this is it's at your fingertips. It's a phone call or a webinar every 2 weeks. So, as something's needed, you have it at your fingertips right away, right? So that way, any strategies that you need is not more than a week or 2 weeks away. What we're going to help you do is plan your business forward, but help you build backwards so that you mitigate anything that could happen at a later point in time, right? And so, again, when you think about your business, there's a way in terms of forecasting, and then the way you build and you assess and you set KPIs. And this is what this applies to: planning forward, building backward. So I invite you to go ahead and book a 15-minute consultation, which is on the start page. That's the next step from here. Go to californialawservices.com/start. If this makes sense to you, you'll find a brief application that I'd like you to fill out about your business that tells me some of the existing contracts that you have. It tells me about some of the existing marketing assets that you have, some of the things you're involved with, some of the parties you're dealing with. So in other words, it helps me understand your business in a quick snapshot, in a framework that helps me evaluate whether or not we're a good fit for each other. Okay? You'll also see my calendar. I invite you to go ahead and book a 15-minute meeting if you'd like to discuss the details of this program. Again, it's one-on-one. It's not a group program. This program, $500 a month, is going to be you and I talking about your business. Your business is my case, and your business is your case, and we're going to look at it objectively, subjectively, and constructively to make the best decisions. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Sid Pedinti, the founder and attorney here at California Law Services. If you have any questions regarding any of the strategies that I discussed, feel free to reach out to us. You can find all the information on our website. Once again, Sid Pedinti, I thank you for joining me here. I look forward to working with you and your business and making some money together with you. Once again, have a great day. That's it for now. Bye-bye.